Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Kalan with White Glove Models, and welcome back to the channel. This is a little bit weird because I have no lights on in here, and just trying something a little bit different, but apparently you can still see me. Now, I'm probably a bit fuzzy. I don't know. We'll see, and hopefully you can hear me okay, and I'm not muted, but I'm I don't know. I wanted to try something different. So, didn't turn on any lights because the camera looks like it's picking me up pretty good. So I'm going to check out chat just to make sure that everything is good. And Hobby Time's in the house, and we also have Kenny over at Hobby Link International. How you doing? Hopefully today is a good Monday for you. I'm not sure if Chris will be joining us today. He's probably on break, but we'll see. So a few things. Been working on trying to get the next episode of the Out of the Box Wednesdays Fok Wolf 190 FW 190 video out for Wednesday, and it's probably going to be a little bit shorter of a video. I haven't done my intro and all that for it. I thought I had, but apparently as I'm going through and editing it, I hadn't done that. So I gotta still have to film that and do a few other things. Just so you know, it's a Revell kit, and you know how I feel about Revell, and so it is already becoming a challenge, but I am looking past the challenges, and things are moving along very good. The other issue that I've run into this week is painting the engine. I should have painted the engine before assembling the whole thing because it's a little complicated trying to get paint into nooks and crannies and all that that are very hard to reach. So, I mean, it's those are just simple things to overcome, and my OCD should be able to. I should be able to suppress it enough to get the job done. So, pretty much after this Wednesday's video, we should be done with final assembly and then moving on towards painting the whole kit, and hopefully just one or two more episodes after this Wednesday. So, anyways, dump intros, buddy. Just jump into the build. Jump into the build. Well, I'm not doing that long intro like before, but what I mean by intro is just explaining kind of what, uh, just real briefly, like what I'm going to be doing and where we're at with the build, Kenny. So it's not a big intro. It's just basically explaining kind of, like when Ben starts his build, just kind of explaining, hey, this is where we're at, giving you kind of an update, and then hitting the high speed and going straight into the build. So that's kind of the path that I have taken with this series of Out of the Box Wednesdays, is kind of mimicking in a way what Ben builds does, because what he does works, and it seems to make the most sense. So and it's making it a lot more fun and easier for me. So, Upstate Scale Modeling's in the house. How's it going? Good to see you. I've also been a little bit distracted because, as those of you that have been on Discord know, when we were on vacation, my AC compressor on my truck took a dump, and that meant I couldn't drive it home. So it is currently up in Oregon at the dealership getting repaired, and so that's leaving a vehicle 350 miles away is it's a little nerve wracking and stressful. So we do have to go back up and pick it up, which is a nice thing. Good reason to go back to Newport, Oregon. So I'm happy with that. But it's still a little stressed, and it's going to cost a pretty penny. But once everything is said and done, my AC unit will be completely brand new, and which is a good thing because down here, we're in the hundreds most of the time during the summertime, and you can't live without it. So, but yeah, I just didn't want to damage my engine any further. These new vehicles with the serpentine belt going over everything, You know, like my Tahoe, I could just cut the AC. Um, what am I saying here? I could just cut the AC belt, and the rest of the engine would run just fine. But on my F-250, it's a little bit different. Everything is all together on one serpentine belt, and not only that, but the compressor had already pretty much done its damage and gone through the whole system. So they have to replace all the lines and all that. Something that I could have done probably on my own if my truck was at home and I had all my tools, and I wasn't recovering from back surgery. So um, either way, it's all going to be replaced. Pretty happy about that. You know, it's just caused a bit more stress than needed. So have been spending some time though working on a few different builds, and then as some of you saw, we are now 3D printing. Well, we as in me. My wife is actually pretty excited about it too, because what it means now that we have a 3D printer, thanks to Mark Schumann over at HobbyLink International. Thanks for graciously giving us your old mono, or what is it, the Anycubic Mono X, and it's like 4K. But it's a sweet printer. Beautiful prints. You're probably not going to be able to see it very well, but I will be posting better pictures of these. I still need to clean her up quite a bit. And then I also did Throg. I need to clean him up and take his supports off and all that, but really beautiful prints. And then I also did, I may have over cured him. I also need to cure the inside a little bit. But this is Krampus, a very cool print. I need to go back and figure out who designed and who I bought this file from, because this is a really cool print. Then there's a lot of different versions of Krampus, but I really liked this one. He is a little bit front heavy, so he doesn't like to stay. I need to figure this out. Maybe when I put him on a base, I'll anchor him down somehow. But really excited to start priming and painting up Krampus here. And I might do that one just for fun for Christmas or something like that. And then I still have this one I didn't print. I got this from SprayGunner. They sent this to me. This is an airbrush holder, and I need to actually prime it and get it ready. I have most of the sanding done that I needed to do to it. I've just been dragging my feet and haven't finished it. But I'm doing this for the Halloween build for the HobbyLink International Halloween group build. And so I need to get cracking on it, because Halloween is literally tomorrow. And Christmas, by the way, Chris, is next week. So be on the lookout, buddy. It's coming. So you better get your Christmas decorations out and get them up. Print it hollow. Marcy's saying, hi, Marcy. It's good to see you. Afternoon glue sniffer, she says. Print it hollow. So when this was the second print I did, and still new, very new, and I didn't print it hollow because or as hollow as I wanted, because I was still playing around with settings. So he's actually a lot thicker than I expected, and that's probably why he's very heavy. Now she is hollow as can be, and she's only like maybe 1.5 millimeters thick, maybe less than that. The walls are, and she drained really well. I did have to put a drain hole in the top of her forehead, which may or may not have been a mistake, but I didn't know where else to put it. I probably could have put it in the back of her hair. I know you guys can't see this very well, but I could have put it in the back of her hair and maybe done something with that. But either way, I think it worked out. I just need to figure out how I'm going to cure the inside of her. And so I need to get a little one of those dental lights, UV lights, and maybe drill out one of these holes a little bigger and stick it in there, and try to cure all of that internally so she doesn't crack. And then I also don't remember where I got this one from. So now what I'm doing with my 3D files, any 3D file that I get, I'm putting it into a folder with the name of the creator, as well as when I save the file, I save it with the creator's name and then what the file is like, so what it's named. That way, when it comes time to print these and show them on the YouTube channel and all that, and all, as well as on as much as I hate to say it, Facebook and all that, then I can give credit to the creator, because I really, really believe that that is the number one priority when it comes to doing these 3D prints and buying them from these wonderful creators, is giving them credit for them, because they are the ones that work so hard to create them. And I'm also very careful who I buy prints from. I usually will only buy them from the person that I know created them. So I don't like to just buy random 3D prints or just download random files, because give credit where credit is due, and that's something we all should be doing. I do see a lot of people selling 3D prints and stuff on online, on Facebook, as well as on certain, I'll just say it, on Scale Model Graveyard, and they say they have permission to sell them, but sometimes I wonder. So don't, just be, and eBay's another one. eBay's another one where you don't know if you're buying it from the actual creator, or if that person that printed it even has so if you just want to buy an already printed piece, just be careful, because you want to make sure that the person that is actually spending the time to create these is getting their due credit and money. So, and some of them put them out for free. So yeah, Muse is right. Far too many who do not have legal rights to. Exactly. She's also saying 99% of mine are from loot, so it shouldn't be too difficult. I haven't been on there. When she says, Muse is saying my files need sorted too. So when I actually, because I have a couple that I follow, and so like they'll every week or month they'll send you new files, because if you're a patron, and so what I'll do is or if I buy it off of CG Trader, I'll just create a file on my computer for that creator, and then I'll make sure that it gets in there, and I do it right away. Otherwise, I'm going to forget, because I will tend to forget things. So, and Kenny's saying 2mm walls are optimal setting. That's good to know. And Muso saying it's easy to fix once you fill it. All great advice. Thank you guys so much, because I'm new to 3D printing, and this is very exciting for me. I do want to get a Max at some point, the Anycubic Max, because a lot of my files are going to look better in a larger scale. So if you're not familiar with Wicked, they produce some really amazing stuff, and a lot of it's on the larger scale, some larger figures and stuff. So I would check them out. Dirk, how's it going, Dirk? Good to hear of you, or good to hear of you. Sorry, I'm reading your next message while trying to talk to you, and that's never a good thing. My brain is too discombobulated to figure stuff out. I didn't know we are doing coffee again. How could I have missed the 4 or 5 videos announcing the announcement of this happened? So this is impromptu. Actually, this morning I was distracted by something else, a game of all things, and we had to change our alliance this morning. So I was busy doing that, of all things, because that's so important, things I shouldn't be distracted by, but I was. And so I wasn't really going to do it because I had a bunch of other stuff to do, and I'm trying to edit Out of the Box Wednesdays next video for this Wednesday and all that. And so I wasn't going to stream, and then I thought, you know what, it's been a couple weeks and I've kind of I failed you guys on my end, so let's just do a quick live stream, and whether it's at 10 o'clock or 10:30, who cares, right? So here we are, and I'm wearing a different shirt for you, Dirk. I actually thought of you. I'm wearing a different shirt, so this isn't my usual Monday shirt. Muse is saying every month on Loot with the subscription. I'll have to check them out. I have not heard of Loot. And Linda's in the house, my mother. Hello, mother. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Long time. Haven't talked to you for a couple weeks, so I hope you're doing well. I hope everybody's doing well, and it's good to see you. Hopefully everybody can see me okay, since I don't have any lights on. I was afraid to mess with it because this camera actually picks up fairly well, but I have to shoot in 720p because if I do any higher, like 1080p, my movements start getting blocky for some reason, most likely because my computer can't figure stuff out. And yeah. So Dirk was saying, don't be in such a rush to get the max. Get used to using what you got and hone your skills. Once you've nailed that down, then worry about upgrading. Thank you, Dirk. Yeah, that's very good advice. And my wife, she's actually excited about the 3D printer because she does, as most of you know, she does a lot of board games and dice games and things like that. And so she's actually already asking about me possibly printing some things, which will be cool. And it's really cool that you can be, because in a lot of the boxes, the organizer trays, I guess, she wants some organizing trays made, and that should be easy to do on the printer, especially if I ever get like a larger printer, but you could still make the smaller parts and then piece it together. But this one has been a lot of fun, and so far really excited about using it. But right now the truck has taken up all of the resin money, so I'll be purchasing resin, most likely more resin next month. But in the meantime, it gives me an opportunity to kind of play around with some of the files and get used to using Lychee or whatever you call it. I've also been playing around with Chidubox a little bit, but with Shu's help, I really like the Lychee or whatever you pronounce, however you pronounce it. I like that, so I'm contemplating getting upgrading to the paid version of it, because it's been kind of cool to play around with a basic version, but there's some really awesome stuff you can do with the other version of it. Chris is the one with the hard on for your shirt. I just agree with him. Yeah, and Chris isn't even here. He doesn't like me anymore. So I'm taking a bit of a break from Discord and from all the other distractions, from YouTube in general. And we don't have cable or television, but we have Netflix and Peacock and all that. And it's just, I have so much to do. It's too distracting. And I'm not usually one that likes to sit around and watch TV. I'd rather be out in the shop working or in here working on models. So kind of my goal lately is just to get rid of a lot of the distractions. And like the shirt, call you later. All right. Thank you. Well, so one thing I did get recently from my dad when we were up in Washington was, yeah, no more distraction. I'm out of here. Yeah, get out of here, Dirk. And I'm pretty excited about this because this is a ship I've wanted, and it's not that easy to get. The only problem is it's a Revell kit, but this is the Calypso, and I haven't really had too much time to take a look at it. I'm not even sure what scale it's in. It's probably box scale. I'm trying to take a look at it here, but he started it who knows how long ago, and he ran into a few issues. He needed to create new props for it, or propeller shafts, and but he's kind of over it. So he gave it to me, and I'm really excited to actually build this. I have too many other things to build at the moment, so I'm going to be preserving this as best as I can, and putting it into a new container, because this one's obviously pretty well smashed up. And then I will be building this at some point here in the near future. And by near future, that could be 5 years from now, as you guys know, because I do have a lot of stuff, a lot of commission stuff I have to work on. And a lot of that, you guys don't, that never makes it on the channel. I should post more pictures of stuff that I do. But yeah, I have, especially with the fire department stuff that we have to do. We have a ton of builds that I am working on for the fire department, and that I brought on kind of myself, unfortunately, committed to a lot that I probably shouldn't have, but you know what, they'll look great in the museum, and we're going to donate some of them for being auctioned off at one of our events. So should be really cool. I should ask, actually, there's a few other firefighters that do model, and I should ask them to help me out and spread the load out, because there's one with the Montague Fire Department. He does beautiful work, and he actually already has a couple of models that are in our museum here in the county. So I should, actually, that's a good idea. I just talked myself into maybe asking him for some help on those if he's got time. I am not finding the scale on this box, if you can believe that. Leave it to Revell to not put an actual scale on their box. Yeah. Oh, here we go. I found it. So model over 13 inches long in 1/125th scale. So I'm assuming at 1/125th, that's going to be box scale, mostly just because 1/125th scale is not something you usually see. And this comes with a tiger shark and an anti-shark cage. And I thought it also comes with the Hughes 300C helicopter. So I'm going to actually take a look. I see the shark. I haven't really looked at it too thoroughly. So let's see if I can find that helicopter, because you know me, I love helicopters. And I don't know. I'm not seeing it, but it might be here somewhere. So there's a couple of smaller boats and rafts. Oh, there's some divers. And then, oh, you got a Calypso, you lucky dog. Been wanting one of those for some time, but people want way too much for it. Really? That's crazy. I didn't. I've looked at. I've tried to find one, and you hardly ever see them come up. So, I got that kit picked up, some replacement decals for it, and the PBY one too. And Dirk was saying the PBY is another hard one to find at a reasonable price. Interesting. Well, I guess I lucked out. He also gave me the Revell USS Midway aircraft carrier. And I'll show you that here in just a moment. First, we need to see if this helicopter's on here, because I got to have me a Hughes 300. I mean, come on. I'm not seeing it, though. I want to. Oh, and there's also a submersible. There's a submersible. I wonder if there's a sprue missing. I don't know. There's no instructions either. So I should go on to ScaleMates and look at the destruction manual and see if I can tell if there is a sprue missing or if I'm just crazy, which is usually the case. Some styrene strips here that he included. It is possible that parts may have fallen out of this at some point. You just never know. So, but very cool. I'm very excited for this, and it's kind of one of those holy grail kits that I've always wanted, but they're just, oh, I see parts to a helicopter. I just don't see the actual body of the helicopter. So it's got to be parts. I see some of the parts for it. I just don't see the actual hull or fuselage, I mean. So I'll have to go on ScaleMate, see if I can find the instructions and look at them and find out what I can see there in regards to all of that. So anyways, enough playing around with this part. And there could be parts lying around in another box somewhere. You never know. So very cool. Anyways, enough with that one. He had a nice start to it. So I'm really, really happy that I have this now. So thank you to my dad for giving this to me. The other one, probably a kit I never ever in my life would have bought. And again, I think this is box scale, but I'm not a big fan of building aircraft carriers, but since he had this and he gave it to me, I will be building this. And this is the USS Midway aircraft carrier. Let's see, it doesn't have the CV number. 41. Last World War II carrier class. And again, no actual scale. It just says length 21.5 inches. So probably another box scale, as we call them, but still a very cool kit. Really interested. Actually, I think the only time I looked at this was at his house, and everything's complete, still in packaging. He didn't even really open it up, other than to maybe just take a look at it. So very, very cool. This will be an interesting build, and I might find a use in a diorama for this if I can find out the scale. But excuse me, now I got the hiccups. Anyway. And hopefully I'm back. So that was a fun little glitch. Yeah, right as Dirk was saying, we can no longer be friends. I glitched out. Odd Scale Modeling is in the house. How's it going, buddy? Good to see you. There is not a clear sprue in the box, so I'll have to take a look again at the instructions on. Hopefully they're available on ScaleMates, so I'll have to check that out. 11 o'clock, I think either my computer or the internet does something, and I think that's why I glitch out at 11 o'clock, because it seems to be right at 11 that it does that. Either that or it's my VPN doing that to me. I don't know. You're not a fan of aircraft carriers. How rude. We can no longer be friends. Okay, so don't get me wrong. I am a huge fan of aircraft carriers. I've been on board the Nimitz when I was a kid. My grandpa took me there. It was the best time, and I have very amazing memories of it. Probably one of the best experiences I ever had, and I'd love to go check out the Missouri and some of the battleships like the USS Texas even. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of aircraft carriers, I just don't like to build them because they're so big and they take up a lot of room and they collect dust like you wouldn't believe. But and they're really, to me, it's really hard to clean around the little airplanes and do all that. So, but if I can build a case for it, like I am the Bismarck, then it'll be good. So just build an airtight case for it. Speaking of building cases, as soon as I get the workbench cleared off out in the garage, and it starts to cool off a little bit, I will start. I need to build a couple cases for not only the one of the dioramas that I'm working on that you guys will. I don't know if you've seen it on the channel or not. We'll talk about that another day. I still have a bunch of work to do on it, but I need to build a case for that. And then I also need to build a case for the Sherman because I want to display that. And I'm probably going to do some kind of a diorama at some point for it. But for now, I just need to build a case. And then also a case for the, I'm going to build a case for the Saxon class frigate that I will be getting back to work on here pretty soon once we have some more time. And also the GTO. We're going to get back to work on the GTO very shortly here on the channel just because I need to get it finished up. So Stephen Haynes is in the house. How's it going? Welcome to Monday Coffee with Kalan. I hope everybody is doing awesome. I'm just pretty much rambling today. Not a whole lot going on. I just have to spend a bit of time this afternoon getting Wednesday's Out of the Box Wednesday's video edited and get it finished up so that I can have it come out to you guys on Wednesday. Let's see where we are with chat. And Muse is eating pizza. That sounds good right now. And that's pretty much caught up with chat. So, yeah, I don't know where Chris is. Chris has been AWOL, but he's probably mad because I'm not on. Hi, Steven. How's it going? He's probably mad that I'm not on Discord. So, but yeah. I just Discord gets very distracting. It's because it's like a constant chat all the time. So, anyways, very excited about this whole 3D modeling adventure. And the time here, oh my gosh, it's 11:05. So for you, what it's you're in the future. So I'm gonna guess that it's probably 14-hour difference, maybe. Because I can't remember. You're Lewis and Nat are 8 hours, 4 a.m. So that's a 15-hour difference. Yeah, because Lewis and Nat are 8 hours ahead of me. So that makes sense. That's crazy. Or wait. Yeah. No. Is it? I don't know. Anyways, I can't do math right now. I've only had one cup of coffee. So yeah, you're either up early or up late. I can never. It's funny because a lot of times whenever I watch, you were on live streams occasionally, and when I do watch yours, like I always am catching them after the fact. But then there have been times where I've seen you on super late, and you're actually, I guess it would be about the right time for me. Anyhow, I don't really have much else to say other than I appreciate all of you guys that have been helping support the channel. We're almost to just watch my stream. I know. Yeah, right. You stayed up all night just to watch me. But yeah, we're almost to 500 subs. And so I do have a 500 sub giveaway once we reach 500 subs. And if you are familiar with the channel, most of you know what that is. It is a Eleanor Gone in 60 Seconds coffee mug. And then at 1,000 subs, if we ever reach that, probably by 2028, when we reach 1,000 subs, I have a actual die cast Eleanor Gone in 60 Seconds Mustang that I will be giving away. So look forward to that in the future. So yeah, we're getting there. I mean, hopefully by the time I reach 1,000 subs, things will be better, and I'll be a lot better at this, keeping things on track and keeping more of a schedule. But we'll just see how things go, and once I am able to go back to work and all that. So which should be hopefully happening soon. The fire department still won't let me come back until I'm 100% cleared by my doctor from my back surgery, and kind of the same deal with my with the school district. So I don't know necessarily if we're going to be going back to my old job, though, because my doctor didn't seem very confident that I should. So my wife and I have been kind of talking about me looking at other things or going back to school. So if I can find a job that I can still go back to school and work on maybe my CAD program or something like that, that's kind of the plan, to maybe get into drafting or something like that. If you can't find instructions, let Kenny know, and we'll photocopy them, send them to Kenny, and he can send them to you. You can also just email me at whiteglovemodels@gmail.com. And there's ways to contact me in the description of the videos as well, if you need to get in touch with me. So yeah, and I'm going to look at ScaleMates actually after I get off here and see if they actually have them. We could actually do that together, right? Meow, possibly. Let's see. So I'm going to open up a new tab here. Let's head over to ScaleMates. It's been a while since I've been on ScaleMates. See if that's even the right password. Yep. And let's see, what were we? See, is there a number? H575. So let's see. I have absolutely no idea how old this kit is. Let's just assume here that it's a 76. We can at least look, because I have no idea. So that it shouldn't even matter here. 0 kilobytes. So there is no instruction manual. Or is there? There is. Check this out. We got it. So that's awesome. You gotta love ScaleMates, because sometimes I've tried to download instruction manuals and stuff, and for some reason I can't get it into a PDF like this. My PDF files are too big, and I'm too computer illiterate to figure out how to actually make it a small enough file to work with ScaleMates. So one of these days I'll figure it out. So there should be clear parts, I think. And let me look here. Is there a list of parts? I don't see one. It could be at the very end. Sometimes they would put them at the end. Muse is saying she started adding kits on it and gave up too many. Yeah, I add them when I remember. ScaleMates is a pretty cool site, but I keep forgetting to go there and update your stash. Dirk, your stash has probably changed quite a bit since you last updated. I can't tell. Yeah, I'll have to look at this. I'm going to go ahead and download this, and then I'll add it to my files. But anyways, there we go. Oh, here we go. Let's see. So this is kind of, you're getting a sneak peek at what I do. Calypso. Oh, I need to put Ravel in there. Calypso instructions. Usually I would put the scale, but it's like a weird scale, 1, 1, 2, 5. Why did it do this? I don't care. Should have already saved. Yep. All right, cool. So now it's all saved. We're good to go. Perfect. All right. Well, I'm sure that was brutally exciting for all of you to watch. Welcome to my live streams. I mean, this is almost as riveting as watching Kenny lay wood for 8 hours. Also, too many sites to keep up with. Yeah, that's kind of the issue that I've run into. And here's a funny thing. So I used, because with trying to keep the YouTube thing going. You post a lot of stuff on Facebook, which I hate Facebook. Absolutely just can't stand it. But you have to have it there to kind of promote your channel. And Twitter is, to me, like Twitter is a little bit better. Like because I barely ever go on there. I just basically post stuff when I remember to, but I always forget. I used to have Instagram, and I used to post stuff on Instagram all the time. And actually, a lot of my followers came from Instagram, but I don't know what happened, but Instagram deleted my profile, and I can't even log into it anymore unless I'm on a phone, and I'm not going to put it on my phone. So it's like, okay, whatever. Yeah, because I try to go to my White Glove Models Instagram, and it's not there. It's gone. So everything that I had posted there is gone or something. I don't get it. Or maybe I can't access it because I don't have a account on my phone, and I'm trying to access it from a computer, and that's why I'm not able to pull it up. I don't know. Either way, it's frustrating, and it's like, why won't you allow us to post from a computer? It's like, I won't put Twitter on my phone. I don't put Facebook on my phone. And that's, that's personal preference. And, I will never have, what is it called? My wife's on it literally every hour of every day, TikTok or whatever. Yeah. I don't do TikTok. I don't know. I've thought about posting stuff there, but then I don't want to put it on my phone, and I don't really care about TikTok. It's like, and it's I'm at the point where I just do this as a hobby and for fun, and I don't really need the stress of all of that. I'm not here to make any money or anything. So it's like, why bother? I'm just here to spend some time with friends and hang out and build stuff, and kind of show my crappy OCD mind of trying to create things and struggle with that. so anyways, yeah, there you go. You could do TikTok from your PC. Yeah, and Muse says TikTok and Twitter are pointless. Twitter, yeah, I don't know. I do get some traffic from Twitter, but not as much as I did from Instagram, and I don't understand why Instagram would do that. He live streams from the bedroom. I think you bet as exciting as Kenny live streaming his trips to Walmart. People watch though, Dirk. You could TikTok, then cut the cords. TikTok and Twitter are pointless. Do it. You can do all of them from any device. Really? Well, even Instagram? I don't know, because I tried. I just don't understand. Did they cancel because I wasn't posting stuff for a while after my surgery? I don't understand why they would have like deleted my account. It just doesn't make sense, because I try to log on and it's just gone. Dominique is in the house. How's it going, Dominique? Good to see you. Good evening to you. Twitch, Discord. See, is Twitch where Jason does all of his stuff? I can't remember. I usually catch because he live streams. I think it's on Twitch, and then he downloads it to YouTube later, and I always catch it on the YouTube because I don't have a Twitch account. See, you do Insta from the PC. I don't know what happened then, but there's a link in my video description for my Instagram. If you guys can access it and there's still stuff there, let me know, because I can't access it and I created the thing. So, oh, it might have gotten hijacked. Okay. I mean, that's possible. So who knows? I don't know why somebody would want to hijack my account. But I don't know. Maybe they wanted to be cool like me. I don't know. But yeah, everything is going well here. I'll still alive. That's that's good. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in forever. But I've also kind of been out of the loop a bit myself. So it's good to see you, buddy. Yeah. So yeah, if somebody actually can go into my video description and click on the Instagram link, and if you can actually access it and see my Instagram, let me know and I'll dig into it more. But for now, I've just kind of forgotten about it and pretty much don't care, because there's just too many other distractions as well, that I'm just trying to do what I can and just post on YouTube at least, and then also over at HobbyLink International on the actual forum. I haven't posted in a while. Actually, I haven't been on the forum. I need to go on and kind of check everything out, because I've been away from that as well. Basically, when I went on vacation, I pretty much just checked out except for YouTube, because that was the only thing I felt like doing. And you guys got to see a very, very short live stream from that, which was fun. I was meaning to actually live stream from the beach, but it was kind of a crappy day, and we never made it to the beach that morning. But later in the evening, it turned out really nice, and my nephew and I went down to the beach and flew. I had bought a kite, and we flew a kite. And so then that inspired me to go get because he wanted to do tricks and stuff. So we went and we got a kite that does tricks. And first time I've ever used a kite that has 2 strings on it. And oh my gosh, that was so much fun. He and I had the biggest blast doing that. And he got really, really good at it. And I could do some tricks and played around with it. But now, like, I'm really, excited to go and fly a kite. It sounds weird, but I mean, man, it was fun. I haven't flown a kite since probably I was 8 years old, so that was a blast. Just saying, don't ever think that you're too young to do, or too old, I mean, to do something like flying a kite. Dominic just told me, and Muse just told me, that my Instagram works. That is interesting. So when I get off here today, I'm gonna go screw around with it and see if I can figure out what the heck is going on and why I can't log into it. Maybe something happened on my end. So I'll have to go see. Go fly a kite. There's a joke in there somewhere. Exactly, Dirk. And over on the coast, they have tons of different kite stores, and so of course now I want to actually look into maybe getting another kite next year when we go over there and trying some different things. I don't know. It was fun, but I was thinking about it too, and I was like, holy cow, it is so windy here, that because I was thinking about flying a drone, like how would that work? You couldn't. It's too windy. And it's kind of, we over here we get a lot of wind, but nothing like it was there for as long as it was. So there are times where you could fly a drone here, because that is something I'm looking at doing eventually. But I was thinking like, some drone footage of the kite flying would be fun, because I had my GoPros out and all that and was filming, and I was like, drone footage would be really cool. But yeah, there's no way you'd be able to get drone footage unless you had a really, really expensive high grade drone that could handle winds like that, maybe. But not the Mavic Mini, I don't think. So let's see. Yeah, this whole Instagram thing, that I don't know. I'll have to check it out, because that I liked posting pictures of her on Instagram. I'd rather spend my time posting pictures of my model builds and other projects that I'm working on over on Instagram than Facebook, because frankly I just hate going on Facebook, and Facebook just frustrates me because of all the just crap that's on there now. And usually with Instagram I just go on and I just post and then I leave. And same thing with Twitter. That's kind of what I do at Twitter, but I don't get a lot of response back from Twitter. So the only benefit to Twitter, I think, is the hashtags or whatnot, and you just create all these meaningless hashtags, which I personally don't know how many people actually follow them. Like I created the hashtag Out of the Box Wednesdays, and it's going to take some time to kind of get that one going and generate it. But just, we'll see. I know, Kenny, you hate Twitter. I don't know. To each their own, I guess, but I don't know. I don't spend any time on Twitter. The only reason I go on Twitter is to post links to my videos, and that's it. And then I'm off. I don't actually explore Twitter or look at Twitter or follow anybody else, except for SprayGunner, because they post a lot of stuff there. So, and we have 10 people. John Alex in the house. Hi, Kalan. Hope you're well. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well too. Just kind of a little late live stream today, and been watching your videos and your live streams. They're doing really good, and everybody else over in that community. So it's good to see everybody. And we're probably not going to be doing Monday Coffee with Kalan every single week. Like I was saying about Out of the Box Wednesdays, it's probably not going to be very consistent, which isn't good for the algorithm. But at this point, like I don't really care. I do apologize to you guys, my friends in the community, because sometimes you might expect to see a video come out, or you might be expecting a live stream and then it's not there. But again, it's just my time is kind of limited, and I'm sure a lot of you can understand that. Maybe when I retire, I'm trying to retire in about 30 years, right? I'm 42 or 43 now. I don't even know. I'm at that mid-level of my life, and after my back surgery, I'd love to go back to at least some some form of a new career, maybe in drafting or something, and then probably put in another 20 years trying to retire. But that being said, I'm not going to be able to commit 100% to filming unless I either win the lottery or retire. So we'll see, whichever happens first. But you got to play the lottery to win the lottery, and that would be a problem. So coffee with Kalan when I feel like it. There you go, Dirk. I could do that. Coffee with Kalan when I feel like it. Don't listen to Kenny. He will tell you he hates twatter, face crap, and insta douche, but he is hip deep into all of those. You have to be, especially if you want to promote your channel. That's the unfortunate. You gotta sleep with the devil to make it happen. To promote your channel. So are you copying Kenny with his live streams? Basically, yeah. Whenever I feel like it. Lottery would be ideal. I know, right? Yeah, that would be pretty epic. There's a lot. I don't like to get too political or anything like that, but there's a lot happening in California right now that if we could afford to sell our house and just up and move somewhere else other than California, probably like, I don't know. I don't even know what's better. I mean, Washington's not any better than California, but there's just stuff happening here that it just makes my stomach churn. I'm for those of you that are probably a little bit closer to me and know me. I'm a Christian. I believe in God, and I have faith in, and that that is my faith, and that's what I believe in. And when the way society is going today, it's heartbreaking. So yeah, I don't know. I thought about going east, Dirk. We were looking at property in Michigan, northern Michigan, Montana. Montana is so expensive. If you want to buy property, like even just a house in the outskirts of Montana, it's almost $500,000. And I wouldn't say Colorado's any better than here, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's like I even looked at Kansas, stuff like that. Be your neighbor. We had looked at I had looked at a house in Kansas, and it was actually really affordable and a nice house, but they're trying to find a job in Kansas would be hard for both of us. And then I don't know if you have to deal with tornadoes in Kansas or not, but my biggest issue for me is, I've grown up on the Pacific Northwest my entire life. And up until I moved to Northern California, I was always within 10 minutes of the ocean or the Puget Sound, depending on where I had lived. And so there was always water nearby, or Lake Washington was always like 10 minutes away. And I would take my boat out and just kind of hang out on the lake if I needed a break from society and the world, and just float out in the middle of the lake or out in the middle of the Puget Sound or the ocean. And that was my getaway, and I always enjoyed that. And when I moved here, that's the one thing I think I missed the most. And to go into the Midwest of the United States and be that far away from the ocean, I think would kill me. Maryland isn't far behind California on the get out scale. Yeah, so okay, I'll probably get banned from the internet for this, but if so, here they're trying to make it or tax you for leaving the state. That's ridiculous. That's illegal. To me, that is illegal. And that's not even the worst. Like the other things are far worse than that. That doesn't even bother me that much. And I'm not a true Californian. I was born in Washington State, up in the Olympic Peninsula, and that's where I grew up. So I'm kind of moved here because of my wife, and just crazy. Just this world is crazy. That's why we dig into models. We have some fun. We enjoy building things. 3D printing, I mean, it's the wave of the future. I mean, look at that. I mean, you can print anything that you want. And to me, like the funny thing about it, so I'm a huge Star Trek fan, and the replicator was one of those things that I know my mind's like, but anyways, the replicator was like one of those things I always wanted. Even as a little kid, I was like, that is the coolest thing, the coolest invention. And if that was ever real, like, I mean, you could replicate your clothes, you could replicate anything that you wanted, and that is slowly becoming a reality in a little bit. I mean, there's now CNC machines that make, that, and 3D printers that print steel parts. They print steel parts for helicopters, and that's kind of the business I want to go into if I can get my CAD, get into a CAD program and design program and start. I don't know. Chris K thinks he's engineering is not the way to go. That's what I've always wanted to do, and I probably should have done that straight out of high school, but I don't know. Anyways, I digress. There's a lot. I'm just talking out my ass now. I don't even know what I'm saying, people. I think I just covered about 15 topics in 2 minutes. That's how my brain works. Maryland isn't far. We already said that. Water is one thing we got. A bunch of houses around Ford Lake are up for sale. I also looked in, is it Maine? Up in Upper Maine. And because Maine's basically like Washington State in a way, in the area wise, just everything's green and there's water, and it's kind of got the same climate. But man, houses there are incredibly expensive. I couldn't afford it. I'll have to look. Where's Ford Lake? Well, I can't remember what state you live in, Muse. Is it Maryland? And Eric's in the house. Howdy, everyone. How's it going? Good to see you, Eric. Hope you're doing well. They did that in 1994 when we moved from SoCal to Indiana. They taxed us for the money we made in Indiana that year. See, that's just not legal. I have my own opinion about that, and that's for another channel and another time. Michigan, that's right. You are in Michigan. I forgot about that. Yeah, Michigan is, so there's a lot of cool properties in Michigan that it's like, there's one I really want to like pull the trigger on, but it's like everything's sight unseen, and you don't know what you're getting into. And then in the wintertime, like up in northern Michigan, the winters up there are brutal, from my understanding. So, but I don't know. The nice thing is there's water, a lot of water around Michigan. So that's, I don't know. I do love the water, and that's one thing that I don't know if I could live without. I struggle with it here because we have small pockets of water and small lakes, but I don't visit them far enough. I haven't fished. I used to fish at least at minimum once a week. I have not been fishing once in the 7 or 8 years since I've moved out of Washington. And I was supposed to go fishing on our camping trip, and my truck broke down. So that kind of squashed that. And the fishing it was kind of the salmon. I just wanted a coho trip for salmon, and they were having trouble filling those. And, it's like there was a bunch of bottom trips, and I don't want bottom fish. I don't care about that. And halibut, like I fish for halibut. I love halibut and lingcod and stuff, but I really wanted salmon because, that was pretty much, I fished for everything, especially when I was in Washington, and halibut and lingcod. Like, I mean, I eat that all the time, but Salmon, you were always very limited. You'd get 2, and if sometimes you wouldn't even get them. And the silvers, when they're running silver salmon, that is one of those fish where you catch that sucker, you fillet it and eat it on the boat. Best fish ever. And it's amazing grilled, fresh, just out of the water. And I don't know. It's like I just wanted a nice coho salmon trip, and those, maybe another time. Anyways, I digress. Here we are. See, we're not even talking about models now. And we are on a we must be on a HobbyLink International live stream. North Dakota represent. I haven't looked at a lot of stuff in North Dakota, but it doesn't it get. I mean, I've seen your winters up there. It's like freezing all the time, and now I don't know what's the temperature right now. Are you guys really hot in North Dakota? Muse is saying you have to see it in person. I would love to. Like I said, not too far north. So because if you go way up north, that's where it gets like a lot of those properties are super remote, which is awesome. It'd be nice to have like an off-grid place or something like that, but yeah. Again, like I said, for another channel, another time. And someday I will get my other channel rolling where we will be talking about other stuff like that. And Bigfoot. Emergency services are very limited in any season if it's too far north. I kind of figured that because there's not even a lot of roads in some of the properties I looked at. You'd actually have there was a few properties you'd have to actually build the road to get to your property. I left Maine as soon as I was able to join the army and never looked back again. Off-grid isn't a big thing here. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the name. There's this one channel I watch. He and his wife, they are from Canada, and they were in Alaska actually. And then they bought a bunch of property in Maine, up in northern Maine, and beautiful, beautiful properties they bought. And one of them's on a lake. We also have our own legends and monsters. Yeah. I've actually read a lot about your legends and monsters over there, which is kind of cool. Yeah, my family, well, a lot of my family was Native American, and my stepfather was Native American, and so I heard a lot of interesting stories, and a lot of them I do believe. And we had my 3D printed Bigfoot. He's up there. That my wife got me. I'm afraid to paint him because I don't want to ruin him. And so I don't know. I was hoping maybe we could find the guy that she bought it from and maybe have him or buy another one, and then I'll attempt to paint it. But he looks so cool. And they're gonna think, no. I have these, so you think I'm crazy, and I'm with all my subscribers for mentioning anything on this channel, but no, I have stories, very, very interesting stories, and I eventually might go into that on a different channel that's not model related. So, but yeah. Anyways, we have been on for over an hour, and I probably should get back to editing Wednesday's video so you guys have something to watch. Again, it's going to be it's going to be shorter than I expected, but the following video is going to, that'll be coming out hopefully the following week. We should have pretty much the entire FW190 built. And it should be getting it's the fuselage all painted up and all that. I did run into a couple of different issues, and Muse, actually, I can ask you while you're here before I go. I have a problem with the engine at the moment, and I need to airbrush it because trying to get paint in the little crevices with the brush is just going to be probably a bit harder, and and I don't want it caked on there. So I have my oily steel from Vallejo, or however you pronounce it. I've never airbrushed Vallejo. I think I'm saying it right. I've never airbrushed it, and I'm pretty sure that you said that you have. I have the Airbrush Flow Improver, and the other thing I have is this Airbrush Vallejo Premium Airbrush Color Retarder. Which of these should I use? And how much? Or should I try to use them both if I'm going to airbrush this Vallejo oily steel color? Because this is super thick too. I know airbrushing Viejos doesn't do very well. In the past, I've had issues with it, but I thinned it with the wrong stuff. I think I thinned it with water, and then I also tried isopropyl alcohol, which made a huge mess. So I've been afraid to attempt anything ever since. So Muse, if you can tell me, or somebody in here can tell me which of these, the Airbrush Flow Improver and or the Premium Airbrush Color Retarder to use, then I will be doing this later today and filming it and hopefully getting it included in this week's video. Haven't used those. I use Unicorn Tears. With your Vallejo, you use Unicorn Tears with this and you haven't had a problem. Because that's I'm afraid to try it. Because I'm pretty sure I tried something once and it screwed up everything. It was terrible. Try them on something that's not, there you go. I'll use one of my paint mules. And then I also had an interesting thing happen. I talked about this briefly on the community. So you guys aren't going to be able to see it. I did have some pictures that I posted on, and I'm going to be talking. I actually have a call with SprayGunner later today. And I was going to send the pictures into them, but the inside of my airbrush, because it's started happening when I started using a sonic cleaner, but the chrome plating or whatever, the chromey color is coming off, and now on the inside of my airbrush, I don't know, why would it only be happening on the inside though? That's what I don't understand. But the inside of my bowl or cup is completely like copper now. And it's really bizarre. So I thought it was rust. It's not rust. It looks like the nickel plating or chrome plating that was on this is coming off. So anyways, we'll see what SprayGunner has to say, or if they're just going to replace the airbrush. Usually that's what they do. They'll just send me something new, which is always nice of them. So gotta love SprayGunner, one of my favorite companies to work with. So, where are we going? Try them on something that's not important. Retarder slows drying. Dirk saying, I thought Vallejo paints were ready to spray. Not these ones. These are super thick and they're literally designed mostly for brush painting. I have some, but have not tried putting it through an airbrush. And Eric, Unicorn Tears and Kitten Farts, best combo. Where do you? I think I need to get Kitten Farts from Jalen, I guess. Some are Dirk. These are not. Yeah, these are meant for brush painting, that could be if I got the airbrush ready ones. Dominic's saying shake well, then it can be used mixed with water or corresponding thinner. And John Alec is saying it's the vinyl in it. Use fluid retarder. If it bubbles up when you shake it, that's what you want. It needs a surfactant to keep it from clumping when you spray it. Huh. So if I use some of the retarder in it, which in a sense isn't isn't Unicorn Tears. For those of you that don't know what Unicorn Tears are, it's Mr. Color Leveling Thinner, probably the best product ever made in the entire world. I'm wondering, I'm going to do some experimenting today, and maybe I'll post a video of it later this week and kind of come up with my conclusion. There's probably hundreds of videos already about this, but I don't have the time to search YouTube for them. Maybe I should, but in fact, John's probably got a video on it. And if you're not familiar with John's channel, go check it out. I wish I had his voice. Definitely has a voice for building, and John, by the way, your current videos, outstanding. I wish I was able to produce videos like you do. Just absolutely brilliant, and very nice work. Muse is saying they machine the cup liners more than the outside. That's what I was thinking. This may sound silly, but how do you know if they are ready to spray? Is it marked on the label? I have never noticed. So I don't own any, but there are some Viejo bottles that say, I think it's model Airbrush or something is what it says on it. It should say Airbrush on it. And those are the ones that are ready to spray. Even Airbrush ready needs thinned. Really? See, I did not know that. That's good to know. I'll put that up here so you people can read it from the mouth of Muse herself. Some paints are ready, Airbrush ready, and are marked as such. Mix and test. I will. So thank you so much. I always forget. I get in a rush to do stuff and I forget. And a lot of times it's like I try to film as much as I can, but then it just gets crazy. Thanks for all the information. Yeah, thank you. Muse is a cornucopia of knowledge. She is, as well as most of you guys. And thank you, John. I mean, yeah, John is a cornucopia of knowledge himself. And a lot of it's just from trial and error on all of their parts. Listen to Not Doug. She's got this. Take notes too. Yeah, that I've learned the hard way by not taking notes. In fact, my notebooks are right here, and I keep notes of everything that I try now, just because when I was working on the 1-200 Bismarck, I didn't write a bunch of stuff down, and now I've got to go back and re-experiment and waste a bunch of paint, which is frustrating. A voice for building. I guess I'm doing it wrong because I never used my voice to build a model. No, but that's because you're so substandard, Dirk. I had to say it. It's called Model Air. That's what it's called. Thank you. Model Air. Gotcha. Environment too. Yes, environment can make a huge difference. My recipe isn't going to work for others. And that is true. Humidity, I think, is a big factor when it comes to painting, especially even I wonder if elevation can be as well. I don't know what elevation you guys are at. Here I'm about 3,000 feet, 2,800 to 3,000, I think. I don't know. Different signs say different things, and different websites say different things. So, and then if you're at sea level, could make a difference as well. So who knows? And then, when you've got Spencer that lives up in the Appalachian Mountains off grid, I mean, he's probably at like 20,000 feet, making moonshine and electronics. But yeah, everything kind of makes a difference. It's drier than a popcorn fart here. Oh man. They're also outlaw paints. There's so many different brands now. This work thing keeps interfering with watching the show. Welcome back, Kenny. So yeah, that being said, I guess I will go run a couple of experiments here. And by the way, uh, the Viejo, these paints, I do love them for hand painting and for brushing, for hand brushing models. I just recently, some of you might know, I recently started using the Ammo by Mig paints. Those are phenomenal. I don't know why I haven't used them in the past, uh, but they're absolutely awesome and just great for brush painting. But these, the Viejo, absolute one of my favorites. I do hand brush mostly with Tamiya paints. And Kenny, I know, and some others, they don't like hand brushing with them, or they've had issues with them. The trick and the probably the best advice that I can give anybody when it comes to Vallejo or to Tamiya paints is just use their paint retarder, the acrylic paint retarder. And it says to put like one or two like drops, or they say less than like 20% or 2% or something like that. I can't remember, but you'll see it in my videos. If I've filmed it, I'll put in like one or two drops into my little tray here, just off of a toothpick, and then I'll put in about 10 to 20 drops of the actual paint itself, and I don't have any issues. It works good for dry brushing. It works great for wet brushing and painting, and it really gives me a nice smooth finish when I'm done. And I don't know. I don't know if it's just I've been lucky or what it is, but I've never had a problem with the Tamiya paints, and I love working with them. But I've noticed that the Ammo by Mig, and then as well, especially the Viejo, some of these thicker paints and stuff, they have a higher content of the I can't think of the name. My brain isn't working, guys. The pigment. They have higher pigment, and they work just amazing. Because the problem, the only thing that I do, I guess maybe I don't complain about it because I'm used to it. The Tamiya, I have to do a couple coats on it. So you almost always, if you're brush painting, if you want a really nice finish to that color, I usually have to do two coats, depending, and it depends. The especially for the flats. If I'm using the clears tend to go on a little bit thicker, and so a lot of times I don't have to put a second coat on. Sometimes I still do. It just depends on what color it is. But the flats, I always have to put a second coat on. With the Viejo and the Ammo by Mig, you almost never have to put a second coat on. Sometimes you do, though, if you over thin it or whatnot. But it just depends. And a lot of times I'll be thinning it or changing out, adding a retarder to most of the paints that I brush with, because I'm a slow painter. Anyways, yeah, there's your free advice for the day, everybody. Do we have Outlaw in the States yet? That's a good question. I'm pretty sure it is. If you want tips, ask them, and I'll make a video about it on my YouTube channel. Please do. That's always good. MIG paint is good, just doesn't play well with others. That is so true. And that is some advice that I learned early on that Marcy told me probably like a year ago. And the trick to that, and she will tell you, is if you lay down like Tamiya and you need to put Ammo by Mig on top, or even the Viejo paint, what you do is, so you pay, let's say you're using Tamiya, you put down your Tamiya paint and then you clear coat over the top of it. then just a very light layer is fine. You don't need to go super thick with it. Just put a thin layer. Airbrush is the best. A thin layer of clear coat, and then use your Ammo by MIG to paint those parts. And then I would clear coat it again to do any other paint changes if you're using a different brand. And that's the best way to avoid any issues with it. And what I tend to do is and this again is advice I got from Marcy, Scale Model Muse, is to let my clear coat usually cure for about 24 hours before I put any other paint on it. And so even the Tamiya, before I go and put that clear coat on, I'm going to let it sit for 24 hours. That's why I'm such a slow painter too, because that whole process takes time. And for that part, I guess I'm a lot more patient than I used to be, and a lot more patient than maybe some other people are, because you almost have to be, because I've screwed up so many. You work hard on this build or a commission build or something, and you spend all your time and effort putting it into this build, and then you screw up one thing on it towards the end of the build, and you got to strip that paint. And usually I don't strip paint. I'll just kind of clean it up and work with it and and then usually put another clear coat base on it and go over the mistake. And that can tend to fix things. I'm not one of those that'll strip an entire project to go back to reset it, because that is a headache, and I couldn't handle that. And I've had pretty good luck with not damaging too many things, so thank goodness. But a lot of good advice comes from this community, so thank you, everybody. So that's why I have a YouTube channel. By September, we will at High Altitude Hobbies. Cool. High Altitude Hobbies. That sounds like a pretty cool shop. I wish we had a shop in my town, but we don't. Australian run and own, Jason from Aussie Scale Modeler. Paint also break in at different mixing levels. Yes. Outlaw paint shoot straight and clean right from the bottle. In Colorado. I have none of these issues with craft acrylics. Of course. I mean, look, I use craft acrylics. I have them on the workbench right now, Dirk. Folk art. We also have some Delta cream coat. I have more folk art over here. Another, I can't remember, where's that one? There's one I use every so often. Oh, here we go. The Americana. I don't even know. I think I got this years ago at Hobby Lobby, maybe. There's some brands from Hobby Lobby that aren't terrible. I also used a lot of, here we go. So I experimented earlier this week with the Tamiya panel line wash, and it didn't turn out good. So I'm going to go back to the tried and true just oils. And I get these Windsor. These are not even Windsor & Newton. These are Artist Loft from Hobby Lobby, and they work just fine. Really like them. And Windsor & Newton, though. I mean, come on. Those are great. And then you can also get you can spend $1 million on the really nice ones that they sell, like with the Starship. What is it? The Starship Filth. I can never pronounce the name. Abtalung or something like that. Those are really good. Primers and top coats are best left for a minimum of 24 hours, less issues that way. Absolutely true. And that's Probably the best advice I've ever heeded to. So I do appreciate that. And Muse does you do use a lot of craft paints. 90% of what I use is water-based acrylics. Gotta go. Take care. See you later, Eric. Good to see you. Same rules apply no matter the paint type. Yep. And that's my take. And so it's funny because I've been using a lot of All Clad too. And All Clad, like some of them, they say, oh, you can just like 15-20 minutes spray over it. I don't adhere to that magic because I don't subscribe to that magic, let's say, because I just don't want I just don't want to risk it. So usually I'll put their base on the All Clad 2 base, and then usually wait 24 to 48 hours sometimes on those, and I'll have them cure fully, and then I'll go and put my my chrome on or my color and put that on. Let that cure for another 48 hours to a week sometimes. I'm not joking. And then I'll go and put my clear on. And then the clear on it with All Clad, probably totally not necessary, but my Aqua Gloss clear, I will let cure for a full week before I touch it. And you could probably get away with touching it in like 12 hours or less than that, but I ain't gonna risk it because I've had Tamiya where I've had that curing for a week, and then you go and you touch it and you leave prints in it because it's soft or something, or you screw it up, you scratch it. And that's the thing with All Clad that I love, is it's so durable. And that's why with the die cast models that I build and repaint and everything, those it's always going to be an All Clad through and through on those, mostly because of the durability of it. I equate All Clad's durability to powder coating, which if you've never powder coated anything, they powder coat engines, they powder coat steel blocks and stuff like that, and parts for motors. And there's a reason for that, because it's durable and it cooks that on there. And that's kind of the way that All Clad has been in my book. See, I've got one of those German oil sets a friend gifted you. Quick work causes way longer curing time than doing it our way. True, because I think it just creates a mess if you rush things. And I've learned that the hard way too. I put finger marks in gloss that sat a month. I don't doubt it, and yes, been there, done that. I had a model that I had finished it, and I can't remember. It was a ship, and I had finished everything in clear. I can't remember. I think I had clear coated it with Tamiya clear, and when I went to it had been sitting for probably a couple months, at least I thought so. And when I went to grab the hole to move it because I was going to do some work on some parts and build the case for it, and I put a fingerprint, I remember, in the bottom, and I think it was because it was kind of a hot afternoon, and I don't know, it made me so mad, but I was able to fix it. But it's like, really, like, those things are just great. Environment, yep. And love All Clad, but it hates you. Yeah, All Clad is one of those that I truly wish that they would come out with some other colors. But I'm a huge fan of All Clad. And one thing I haven't tried is the Mr. Color, or been sitting for too long, guys. I'm gonna have to end here and get up soon. But All Clad, like the Mr. Color, or Mr. Hobby, they're lacquers. I haven't played with them too much. I also haven't played around with, since I was a lot younger, I haven't played around with the Tamiya lacquers. So I'd like to try those, but the Mr. Color, I'm starting to use those a bit more, and I really do like them. I only have a couple though. And the one I want to try is actually their clear coat. But for now, the only clear coat that I will use at this time of my hobby is the All-Clad 2 Aqua Gloss. And also they have the matte. I have all of their, they have the matte, the in-between. You know what I'm talking about. And then the gloss and high gloss. So those are really cool, and they work well. And I think once you kind of master them, you love them to the point that that's kind of going to be your go-to. Their aqua gloss is just phenomenal on cars, and so when we do the GTO, I'll be using the aqua gloss, and you'll kind of see what I'm talking about there. So yeah, flat, and semi-gloss. There we go. Semi-gloss and then gloss. I have the large bottles of All-Clad's finishes. So really happy with them. Anyways, guys, yeah, I've been sitting for too long. I need to get up and move around. And then I do have a ton of editing to finish up. So anyways, thank you so very much for joining me today, everybody. It's been a blast. And we've talked about a lot of things, and glad we got back on the topic of hobbies and paint. I always learn something. I hope you guys learned something. But happy Monday. Have a excellent week. Go out and build something. Have some fun. And I will talk to you guys next time.